I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on when the sun shines all day. It just calls me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah, fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, good morning, good morning. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. I am your host, Riscala. This morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax with me. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Riscala. So I'm calling you all remote from New York.
She's doing a remote, what would you call it? A remote, I can't think of the word. When they go out and send reporters out in different places.
On remote location,
that's
live from New York City.
I got to get my coffee here. I think I'm going to have coffee this morning.
That would be a nice treat.
We have... as most everybody knows, here in South Florida, we have a little bit of fun going on down in the southwest portion of the state. We have this area of circulation. It's a tropical storm. I haven't looked at the latest on it, but they're telling us that it's going to move offshore sometime today and tomorrow. And those lucky people up there in Louisiana, looks like they're going to get a third, unheard of, complete. I don't mean to laugh. It is a serious matter, but unbelievable. 3 hurricanes all in the same area.
You know, that is amazing. And once they put their boats and things away for safety, they pull them back out and they're putting everything right back away.
Oh, the work that is involved in all of that, I just can't. You may recall here in Palm Beach County, years back, we had 2 hurricanes back to back, 2 weeks apart. Both of them followed almost the same identical. It was amazing. It's almost the same track between both of them. What a nightmare that had turned out to be. No sooner that you get over one, you get slammed with another one. And that's what's happening to these poor people between Texas and Louisiana. Oh, my gosh, I feel so bad for them. I've got to say prayers for those people.
No, absolutely. And, we left a couple days ago and did the drive, and people were sending me photos of trees down in Lighthouse Point, dock boxes that were in the water.
Oh.
So that storm that came up yesterday right through town was pretty significant.
Well, they were saying in some places they got 50-mile-an-hour gusts, but the consistent winds were 25 to 30 miles an hour. And a lot of people don't realize it. For me, my experience with these things, it's not so much when the wind is 25 or 35 miles an hour, it's not so much the wind as the rain. And the rain saturates the ground, and then the trees, the ability of the trees with the roots to hold themselves in place becomes unstable. And then all it doesn't take a whole lot. It takes 20, 30 mile an hour winds and you start knocking trees down right and left. So this thing was loaded with water. We're still getting rained on. The last 24 hours, for me here in Palm Beach County, it is very similar to a hurricane in the sense that we have bands coming through. About every half hour, a band will come through and just soak everything, rain for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then everything's clear again. And then within another 15 or 20 minutes and 30 minutes, another band comes through and we get soaked again. So it's not going to be one of your optimistic days to go fishing, but there's a lot of other things we can do as well and enjoy it out there. So did you get to do any fishing this last week?
I did a little bit of fishing. We just went out and trolled a little bit for dolphin, and we won't tell Angelia, but we caught a couple small dolphins. We threw them all back. They were elusive. They were minis, but it was great. And I tell you, I'm pretty excited to be up here in New York. The weather's only 67 degrees, and I've never had the opportunity, even though I grew up here, to go striper fishing. So we're going to go out and do that probably midweek, hit the Long Island Sound, which is only about 90 feet deep, and see if we can find some stripers. So
I'm not familiar with stripers, and I know this is going to sound silly, but I'm not afraid to ask questions. Is it saltwater or freshwater?
Well, that's a good question. So typically saltwater, but in the Long Island Sound, it's pretty brackish. So they're supposed to be good fighting and good eating, and a lot of people, it looks like when people are holding them up on these internet sites I'm looking at, they're probably snook size, probably the size that you picked up when you were fishing.
Oh, my.
For the snook.
Nice.
So they'll be kind of fun. And you know what we did? We brought some surf rods, which I've never done. So you're supposed to be able to drive on the beach here in Long Island, put your little poles in a little PVC tube and surf cast. So we're going to see if we can catch some bluefish off the beach. That should be some good pictures too. But growing up here, I never had the chance to do that.
Wow. So what's it like up there when you drove up there with regard to getting into the state? Because I've heard some crazy stories about they want to see papers or they want you to get quarantined. And
that's a good question. Yeah, so we were originally going to fly up here, and they would make you fill out health paperwork when you rent a car, when you get off the plane. So we decided to actually drive a little bit longer. But when you're coming into New York and New Jersey, you can see signs that say, quarantine for 14 days, only leave for an emergency, fill out your health paperwork. So, I just think that's all wrong, especially when the transmission rate here is 1% in the last 30 days. It's a different world up here.
Wow.
Not sure we're going to wander out. We're going to wander out a little bit today and see what's going on. But as far as we can tell, they're really trying to keep you locked down up here.
Now, are you near the city, the big city? Are you anywhere near there?
Well, yeah, we're in a suburb of the Bronx, and it's a subway ride into the city. It takes about 30 minutes, so it's a great little suburban neighborhood. We've got a huge garden that we planted. We haven't been up here in 8 months. So I know I saw this morning tomatoes and peppers and all kinds of wonderful things. Yeah, oh my goodness, I'll be bringing some back for you, Riscala.
Oh my
I
goodness.
think we planted 9 different kinds of peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers, and the whole garden is blooming. So definitely bringing back some goodies.
Wow. I wanted to ask with regard to the traffic that you drove from South Florida all the way to New York. How long did that take?
That was about 20 hours, Riscala. We stopped in Florence, South Carolina.
Wow.
Had some weather going up that way. I was surprised there were so many travelers on the road. Everybody was wearing their masks all the way up at all the local little towns. But the drive, it's a long drive. I mean, the flight would have been a lot better. But I'm up here for a few days. I'll just sneak another flight back home in a few days, and then there's no quarantining in Florida, so there's really no reverse situations. But up here, it's a whole different world. I mean, I just don't think it's right the way they're asking people to. If you're up on business, you have to go into your hotel and stay there. That's not really fair.
Don't get me started. So did you do the 20 hours all at one time, or did you break it up?
We broke it up. We did the first 10 out of Florida, ended up in South Carolina, and jumped in the car yesterday. But to tell you, once you got into the city, boy, that traffic is just, even at 9 o'clock at night, with nothing going on, it's just bumper to bumper.
Wow.
So once you got over the George Washington Bridge, it was pretty tough. But, at that point, you just want to get out of the car.
My goodness. And I take it that you have your hotspot with you?
Yeah, I have my hotspot with me. I have a couple trackers with me. I have one of the trackers that you can two-way text with, so I'll be using that out in the water. In the next couple
cool.
of days.
I didn't know you had that.
Yeah. So we have a device that's real cool. It acts as a tracker. It looks like an old BlackBerry. It's got all the key buttons on it, but typically with a tracking device or a safety device, you only have a one-way SOS button. This device, that's about $250, you can actually text back and forth. Hey, did you feed the dog? Yes, I did at 5 o'clock. So you feel a little bit more connected and not just like you're getting a canned message.
Oh my gosh!
Which would make those at home feel a little bit more secure when you're out in the water or hiking or wherever you are. But it also has a tracking availability and a little bit of navigation. I haven't played with it too much.
And it's satellite, right?
Yeah, it's satellite.
Holy smokes! Wow.
Yeah, it's from the Spot line, which is Global Star. Which is more personal trackers, but it fits in your pocket. It's about the size of an Android phone. It's got the keypad of a BlackBerry, and so I'm going to play with that a little bit this week too.
How cool is that? Wow. Well, I love the stuff that you have because I'm a technology nut, and what you have really is above and beyond. And some of the things that can be done, I was shocked. I talked about the hotspot where. I never knew this kind of stuff existed, but if you're somebody that's planning on going somewhere, like in the mountains, there's a good example. There are places in the mountains where you can get excellent cell service, and then there's other places in the mountains, no matter what you do, if your life depended on it, you couldn't get cell service. But if you had a hotspot, that changes the picture completely. Totally turns everything around. Or if you're offshore, and here in Florida, when you get offshore 4 or 5 miles offshore, it gets pretty, pretty tough. It's not too easy to maintain the ability to communicate back and forth on a cell phone. But if you have a hotspot, that changes all of that. So that's one of my favorite, the hotspot and the little one that you showed me that can fit in your pocket.
The little mini, and I'll tell you, I had a customer call me this week, and what happens is they have a tracker, but their son started nighttime sword fishing with some friends, and once they get 15 miles offshore, she loses all the cell signal with them and starts worrying. So she just picked up a little handheld tracker that we're sending out to her. That's $100 and also satellite,
awesome.
and she'll be able to check and see where her son is. But
wow.
I mean, when you get out in the middle of the night, we worry more than probably
you can't help
needed.
it. Yeah, you can't help it.
And especially with weather like last night, or if a storm comes up from nowhere, it's a great way to just have peace of mind for the person at home.
I agree, 100%. Well, I think we have Robert on the phone. Good morning, Robert, and welcome.
Good morning, everybody. How is everyone?
Yeah, Robert, I'm dry. I think you guys are a little bit wet.
Oh, it's I just walked out onto the back porch. The pool is full to the top.
We have a area of circulation that is in the southwestern portion of the state that it's moving, but it's not moving very quickly, and it's developed a little bit. It's gotten a little stronger, and it's just pretty much covered the entire back southwestern portion of the state. According to the map, it's still we're still got a long ways to go before this is going to leave us, and we're going to have remnants of this probably for the next day or so, where it's swinging around out to the Gulf and then coming back around through the Atlantic and swinging back up to the state again. And again, pray for those people in
completely gray out.
Yeah, pray for those people out there. And where's it going to end up, Robert? I think it's Louisiana, right?
Yeah, it's headed for Louisiana again. Everything seems to be headed for Louisiana this year.
Wow. I just can't imagine that. So have you done any fishing this last week, Robert?
Oh, yeah. We've the neighborhood snook fishing patrol has been out.
And you...
other than that, I've been working on the magazine, so I can tell you I've got tuna pictures everywhere from Maine, bluefin tuna from Maine, blackfin tuna from the Keys, and yellowfin tuna from Louisiana. So
oh my gosh, it's
been big on tuna this week. So.
Wow. Any other fish that you're getting reports of? Kingfish, wahoo, mahi-mahi?
The mahi are still here. It's amazing. They are still everywhere.
Poor Angelia. They're avoiding Angelia down there in the Keys.
Well, they're not avoiding anybody else in the Keys, I can tell you that. So.
She has a dark cloud over her when it comes to the mahi. They've kind of figured out how to stay away from her.
She must have something painted on the bottom of her boat.
Maybe. She could, whatever it takes to scare them off.
Not here. Just says not here. Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the magazine, Robert. When is the next episode coming out? The next edition?
Should be done with it sometime next week. It'll be finished, and there's a lot of good stuff. A lot of people from around the country have contributed to this one, so
cool.
It's a good thing.
I think it's neat because.
Got,
go ahead.
Bluefin tuna from up north, and yellowfin from Louisiana, and blackfin from the Keys, and it's nice when everybody from all over the country chips in stuff, because it just gives you a much broader look at what's going on around the East Coast, at least. So
I like the idea of it being digital, because then not only do you get to have text and pictures, but you get videos as well. And videos, a video is awesome when you get somebody who's caught a nice fish and they've got a video of it. I mean, the pictures are great, don't misunderstand me, but the video is like, oh my gosh. So it's one of those things that's it's flexible. So I guess you're not taking any more now, right? For this.
No, not for this one. You can send stuff for next time, but not for this one.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's FloridaFishMagazine.com, and it's
Florida Fisherman Magazine.
I'm sorry, I said
Florida Fisherman Magazine at www.flfishmag.com.
And if they want to submit something.
They just send it to pages@flfishmag.com.
And do you know of any tournaments going on, Robert?
I do not. All the ones that, like I said last week, all the ones that we were involved with have been canceled or postponed until next year. I know that there are some going on. I'm not familiar with where they are.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the bigger ones have been canceled and just postponed until another day. So.
Well, it's going to...
Robert, how far are you from Tequesta?
Not far. I'm 15 miles.
Because I know the weigh-in for summer's tournament, September 26th, it's been moved to there. So if you've got nothing going on a Saturday, roll on down.
Oh, I went last year to the weigh-in. It was great.
Yeah, I think it's been moved from Harbortown to up a little bit north.
She's not doing it at Harbortown this year. So.
Yeah, she moved up to Tiki 52. So I think
oh, really? That's an awesome place.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll see you there. See you there next Saturday.
Yeah, you will. I'll definitely go to that one.
Perfect.
That's
and where do we have? We have Heather. We have Heather up here in Gloucester.
Say that again.
Is Heather's up here in Gloucester, Mass?
I don't know.
She was.
Yes. Oh, she was. Oh, yeah. Okay, because I saw her post.
And now she was in Houston last night, and she's headed home today.
So. Lord have mercy. Around the world in 2 days.
I saw her on some good bluefin tuna.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yep, she did, and got some other pictures from up in the same area. Yeah, she was with actually one of the Keys captains. She was with Claude. I don't know if anybody knows Claude, but she was up there with Claude. He runs charters in the Keys during parts of the year and up in that area parts of the year. So.
Wow.
So awesome.
So
what do you got going on later on, Robert? You can't get out in the rain, can you?
He's not going to go to the park, that's for sure.
No, actually, I was planning on going to Jonathan Dickinson State
No
Park
way.
when I woke up and looked at the weather, so I'm not doing that. So don't know. Might be a day to restring the reels.
There you go. Today
I can tell you, Robert, where I am. It's incredibly blue skies. It's 67 degrees, and not a piece of tree limb is moving anywhere. So it looks like it's going to be a beautiful New England apple picking kind of day.
67.
Where are you?
I drove up to New York. So don't ask
she was
me.
bored.
Yeah, I wanted to do a little striper fishing and apple picking and turn around and head right back home.
I was going to say 67 degrees. You're not in Florida.
She got bored.
No, it was one of those like Riscala. Well, I took the dog for a walk this morning and had to put a jacket on. That was a little bizarre.
Yeah. Well, we're kind of waiting for that. That's a little ways off for us yet.
Yeah, it is completely gray at my house. I'm sitting on the back porch, and it is just gray out.
Yeah, the entire southwest portion of the state is covered with this thing, whatever it is. I think it's a tropical depression, but I'm not sure. Or maybe even a storm by now. But they're saying it's going to be hurricane. By the time it hits land, it's going to be hurricane. I feel so bad for those people. Lord have mercy. No sooner than, it's like being cut, and no sooner than the cut begins to heal, you cut yourself again. Gosh. Got to remember to say prayers for them.
Hitting the same spot. That normally happens, yeah.
Not good. Not a good thing. So any other things you want to share with us, Robert?
Not really. Other than I hope everyone looks for the magazine, and I'll probably issue it next Friday. Even if it's done before that, I probably won't put it out till Friday. So look for the new magazine and enjoy it.
You can find it at flfishmag.com. Thank you, Robert. I greatly appreciate it, my friend. Wish you an awesome day. Regardless of the weather, let's find something fun to. I didn't think you were going to end up at the park today.
No, I didn't. I didn't know it was going to look like this because they said it was going to be on the southwest part of the state. I'm not in the southwest part of the state, but it's still gray out.
Oh, yeah.
Here, so.
Even down here where I'm at, I'm probably 30 miles south of you, even down here. It's gray. And if you look on the...
Carolyn, I will see you next Saturday at Tiki 52. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Thursday night is the captain's party. I'm pretty sure it's at Tiki 52. Robert, I'll reach out to you and let's just reconfirm that. But absolutely. Hopefully I'll be fishing on a 39 CV Captivating, so we're trying to work that out.
All righty.
All right,
You
Robert.
guys have a good week.
We'll catch up to you. Here we go. We'll be right back.
Right.
Come on, baby, let's go. Don't forget your bikini. I wake up in the morning. Oh, it's so cold. I'm hopping on a train. Head is off on. I'm going to Florida.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Fish Florida. Fish Florida.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped, even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida where the sun shines all day. If they call me a grouper, 'cause I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah, fishing in Florida.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. We are back as the Fishing in Florida show. This morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax with me. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Good morning again, Rascala, and to all our listeners on this beautiful Sunday.
I want to say a big thank you to WCET FM. That is our home network out of North Carolina, South Carolina, North Carolina, one of the Carolinas. It's early in the morning, what can I tell you? Big thank you to Marina Rock Radio. They're out of Miami, and they are Yacht Rock's sister station. If you have the TuneIn app, you can find us, on the TuneIn app by going to Marina Rock Radio and tuning in Marina Rock Radio on Sunday mornings, and you can find us that way. You can go to our home network, www.wcetfm.com or wcetradio.com. You can go there and listen to our show, or you can go on Facebook. If you're a Facebook fanatic, you can find us on Facebook. Give us a like while you're there. It helps us remain relevant in the searches. And you can listen to us by clicking on Contact Us. And not the easiest of all of those ways, yes, we have an app. You can download our app, and the app is at the Google Store. I think it's at the Apple Store as well. If you search for our home network, WCET-FM, or if you search for Fishing in Florida, you can find the app. The app has no spyware, no adware, no push notifications. It's just literally like a radio, but it's tuned to one station. And you can listen to whatever's on the network depending upon what time that you turn it on. That's the easiest of all the ways, and the app, of course, is free. Let me bring on my next guest, somebody who is a key player here in South Florida with regards to helping the environment, helping everything within the environment, particularly the ocean, making it better for everybody. And he's done a jam-up job in a variety of ways, and what we're going to talk about this morning is the Reef. Good morning, Bruce. How are you, my friend?
Stephen, good morning. It's Rascala. Good morning, and good morning to you, Carolyn.
Good morning, Bruce.
How are you,
this morning?
How are you this gray morning, my friend?
Well, we didn't get a chance to do any fishing this weekend, and I look out the window, and it looks like it's still a little nasty, but at least the bad stuff is behind us.
Yeah, going to be that way, I think, most of the day today. I had wanted you to come on because I saw a post about the bug light, the oh my gosh, the bug is, what is it called? The
Bug Light Shoal Artificial Reef.
Shoal is what I couldn't think of. And I saw that you had an update on that, and I wanted to have you come on and share with the listeners. What's the update on this?
I appreciate you having me. The update is a good one. The second deployment took place earlier this month. At the end of August, we did the first deployment of the material to be put in the 300 by 300 foot box in the permitted location by Durham. And then we were going to do the second deployment the next day. There were some complications on the Miami River due to some construction. I think there was some bridge activity that was halting traffic. And so they had to delay the second deployment, but that was done last week. And now the boulders, which were donated by Roy Merritt, the big cement cubes, which were donated by Upsary Foundation, and some of the riprap materials, which were donated by Kearns Construction, that they brought from another job down in the Keys for our use at the Reef, is now complete. So now we have various piles of material which are strategically located within this 300 by 300 foot box to contribute to the bait fishery that's already in place since the first deployment last year.
And if I remember correctly, shortly after the first deployment, I mean like really shortly, like within a week or so, if I remember right, a week or two maybe, fish started showing. You already had bait fish out there.
Yeah, we somehow lucked out. We were worried that the location was going to be some sort of barren location, but it was the only area that Durham would give us permission to occupy because they've got strict requirements about the bottom. They don't want to have any sponges, any corals. It's got to be a completely sandy bottom. And so the area that was designated, we weren't quite sure if it would be successful. And actually, the next day when they sent divers down to take some pictures and to map out where the materials were placed, there were cigar minnows already swimming around the structure. So the cigar minnows took to that area. The cigar minnows are there. There's sardines there. There's blue runners there. and some threadfin herring. So it actually has been a very successful location and successful project.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Bruce, I forget. What's the depth of that area there?
It's 19 feet. And it's just to the northeast of the Cape Florida Lighthouse. I can rattle off the numbers, but I don't think the listeners would have the pen and paper handy, so they can certainly go to the Bug Light Shoal Artificial Reef Project Facebook page, and it's pinned to the announcement on that page.
Good stuff.
Bruce,
what's that?
She was saying good stuff.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Was any of this stuff that you ended up putting out there, was that destined to be like go to the landfill, or they're going to do something? It wasn't going to get used, right? It was just going to end up in either in a landfill or trash, if you will. I can't think of the right word, but am I right?
Yeah, probably so. I mean, the first deployment last year was made up of materials. They were a bunch of big pipe joints and other cement materials, which were located on somebody's property, and they were getting ready to sell the property, and they, through Facebook, somebody said, hey, we got some stuff here that we're going to have to get rid of. We're happy to reroute it to your location. So that's, that was the first wave of materials. And then the second wave of materials, Currents Construction had a project down at Ocean Reef where they were redoing docks. So they had to put all the old material, piling caps and whatnot, onto the barge, and they were very very helpful to us, because there's a designated spot that Durham has where contractors can go to put this material out there to keep the artificial reefs fortified, and Currents Construction brought that stuff up the Miami River, for which we're very grateful, because they didn't have to do that. So they had a bunch of slabs and pilings that went into the Durham storage location. And then we had the Roy Merritt boulders. He was redoing his house, and he had a bunch of boulders, and we got those trucked down. And then this Ebsary Foundation had a bunch of these. They're like 4 by 4 foot cubes, and they did a nice job not only getting us the materials, but they gave us the truck and manpower to get them delivered to Durham. So it was just a very good community effort.
I'm telling you, I time and again, when I think about the fishing community here in South Florida, they stand out. That when they come together, things really, it's just amazing what can be accomplished. What I was alluding to is that a lot of this stuff would have ended up more than likely either crushed to be used for something else, or maybe in a landfill. And instead, it's actually helping the environment. It's helping to create a reef, which helps the people, which helps everybody, and I'm part of everybody. So when I hear about a project that everybody wins, that's the kind of stuff I like to promote. And this was no easy feat, you guys. You got to go look at the Facebook page, and you'll see these are huge pieces of the concrete pipes, or those big pipes that you guys see. I don't want to, like 5 feet in diameter or something, huge pipes. And then these boulders were maybe the size of a Volkswagen, maybe half the size of a Volkswagen, Mark?
Yeah, no, it's definitely big material, and it requires the flatbeds, it requires the cranes, it requires the manpower, and then this Durham location at the storage site is a very strange angled property. So you got to have people that can drive these trucks and swing these booms on the crane around in very limited space. So it's just like you said, it's a community effort. It's
amazing.
People love to be part of it, and we're about to start the next phase, and that is Durham has given us a let's just call it a proposed box that's down south of Key Biscayne and just north of the Biscayne National Park boundary, and they gave us a box that may serve as the next site, because one of the things that the anglers have been asking for is to see if we can get something, instead of having to turn left in Biscayne Channel and go north to the Bug Light Shoal number 1, if we can put something down to the right of Biscayne Channel to the south. So we're working on that. Ray Rocher and I, he's out there kind of mapping the bottom. We're trying to get some locations within this box that will satisfy Durham. And once we have those locations further solidified, we're going to do this rinse repeat. We're going to ask for people if they've got any contacts or leads on material. The material requirements, it's very simple. I think it's just got to be 500 pounds or more, and can't have any rebar in it, but cement material that we can start looking out for and putting back into the Durham location so we can start doing another fundraiser. I'm going to start pushing the FWC for some grants on this project because the fishing community came out between the vent range marker and this project. Around $200,000 was raised through donations, private donations.
Wow.
Fishing community. So I think it's time that the government now step in and kind of match what the fishing community has done and open up their coffers a little bit because the fishing community certainly has done its part. I'm going to start pushing the government to do theirs.
Wow, Bruce, that's amazing, man. Really, I am honored to know you. We go back a little ways because it started with Bruce is one of those people who could have been a victim, and instead of being a victim, he's a victor. And this is what we need today. We need more people who are willing to step up and be victors. He had a situation where somebody took advantage of him, stole thousands of dollars worth of equipment from him, and instead of saying, "Oh well, there's not anything I can do about it," he decided there was something he could do about it. Started up a group, created a tremendous effect on the theft that was going on. We can't stop it completely, but my gosh, put a tremendous dent in these people's ability to go out and do this. Made me complete. I had no idea that such a large industry down here, black market for stolen electronics. So an individual who could have been a victim, he is now a victor and took it even further and not only helped other people, helps the environment. I mean, really help the environment. People say, "Oh, we help the environment." This is literally helping the environment. This is really a passion of mine because I have kids. What are we leaving our kids? There was a generation that used to believe what we leave is better than what we had, what our parents left us. And somewhere along the line, that's kind of slipped between the cracks. And when I hear about stuff like this, it's really heartwarming for me because I remember as a kid, a lot of my time as a kid, we didn't have electronics like we had today. We left the house early. Today, Saturday, I would probably already be out of the house and more than likely be down at the canals, down at Coral Gables, saltwater canals, and fishing the canals all day. We'd be there all day fishing the canals and just having a blast. Can't do that anymore. You can't because we haven't taken care of the environment. I saw those canals. I was so.
With Scala, there's been a recent uptick in GPS thefts up in Lighthouse Point. And in that area, and everyone needs to kind of stay alert because while it was somewhat under control, there's been some hits on some marinas in the area, and so everyone with GPSs get as much security as you can get. The Atlas Trax can't stop the GPS theft necessarily, but the Atlas Trax product certainly can assist in protecting the boat. And you just need to get as much security measures as possible, ring cameras, whatever cameras you want to use. Pay attention to the installation of your units, put in locking nuts and tamper-proof hardware. And just the little things will keep you from being a victim, and we'll move on to the next boat. But it's definitely getting out of control. These folks are brazen, and while the industry somewhat responded with the introduction of passcode protection, that's not enough. And I'm pushing these folks to bring their technology up to today's standards. Put in geofencing in these units. Put in something where they can do a remote shutdown if a unit is powered up in another vessel. Very easy stuff that can be done if they want to do it. But of course, they're dragging their feet. Because they've got an insurance industry that's underwriting the purchase of stolen units, and it makes up a pretty decent share of their overall sales. And so they're not necessarily running out to introduce safety measures because it affects their bottom line. And the more and more people push back on that, the more and more demand that's made. Maybe they start listening and putting a little more active theft prevention measures, which I know exist, despite their cries to the contrary.
Well, I really believe it was because of you as of somebody who put pressure on these people that they've even gotten to the point where there's a password now. If I really believe that if you had not done what you've done over the last, 3 years, 4 years, if that hadn't occurred, the password wouldn't be there at this point because you were the loudest that I've that I know out there, and at every opportunity was looking to change. This is something very simple for them to do. As somebody who's got a little bit of electronic background, I can tell you, it's not much of a jump at all. It's already more than likely built within the equipment. It's just some minor modifications, maybe even what's called a firmware update, but it's nothing to them. And it's like you said, Bruce, it's sad. It really is sad to think of it that way, that, well, we sell more by not doing that. I see it in other industries. In my industry, in the printing industry, I see that. If you buy a printer today, and that printer is, say, $400 or less, somewhere between 18 and 24 months, that printer's going to fail because they want you to buy another printer. I see it in other industries, and it's sad. This is a mentality that only us as consumers, because that's what they think of us as, we have the control over that. If we stop it, if we tell them we're not going to buy your products because we know you can do this and help us, they get that message, they'll start changing their tune real quick.
Yeah, Rascala, no question. And the one parallel or analogy that I keep drawing to the conversation is that you take a look at a product like Atlas Trax, and you pay a yearly subscription to have the ability to track your boat that's got the Atlas Trax product incorporated in it. You pay a de minimis fee each year to have an app that allows you to track your boat. And Atlas Trax has the hardware that allows the boat to communicate with a satellite and to communicate with your phone to say, my boat's okay or my boat's not okay. That principle should be embedded in a GPS such that if the GPS leaves the boat, you should have the ability to track your GPS on your phone. And we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry that has not done this to date. And so all these other marine alarm companies are available to do it. So I asked the GPS industry, why can't they do it? And the answer to the question is pretty simple.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah. It's sad. The answer is $, and that's the sad part of this. But we can stop it, though. That's the whole thing. That's where people need the awareness. And then when we have someone like you who does what you do and brings it forward into the spotlight, then makes people aware, gets people to be aware of what's going on, we can stop it. We really can. But we need the knowledge, and we need people like Bruce to tell us, to kind of guide us through that. And I'm ever so appreciative for you. I really am. In the Bud Light show.
Bud Light Reef.
Whichever one it is. I mean, everybody wins. How can you not support something like that where everybody wins?
And I think it's so amazing that this is what Bruce does in freelance and his free time. And, look at all these wonderful projects. And he's working full time and working very hard. So, it's just another testament to the fishing community getting out there and having passion and continuing and completing projects. So many people start them, but Bruce, thanks for actually going through and completing them.
You guys got to see some of the size of some of this stuff. I was so impressed. I mean, these boulders, just the boulders, I'm thinking of the boulders. I'm not kidding you, they're probably realistically about almost half the size of a Volkswagen Bug. Am I right, Bruce?
Yeah, no, it's pretty big stuff. And just, you wouldn't think it was a big deal just to move it from Pompano down to the storage location. But it involves a lot of orchestration of people and manpower.
Tremendous
and
amount.
See them send the pictures. It really is a lot of heavy stuff. And this Callaway Marine, when they did their deployment, they certainly had the cranes. It was impressive to see. There's pictures on the Facebook page of their outfit. Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to go out there myself the second time around because I was busy. I wanted to take pictures myself. But once Durham sends me the photos from the deployments, I'll be posting them on the page. It's just it's very very interesting to watch the professionals and how they do this stuff. It's just there's so much that goes into it that people can't appreciate. And Rascala, just the size of these components.
That's what I'm saying. Some of this stuff was pretty big. See, for someone like me, I have a basic idea of what you had to go through. Because when I was in the Air Force, we had to move equipment around, and the logistics involved, and you have this is in the government paying for it, but the logistics involved, the organization that was required, certain pieces of equipment could only do certain things, and they needed other pieces of equipment to be there in order to be able to do that. And you had to get all of that organized, scheduled together, make sure that everybody was going to line up the way that it was supposed to. Otherwise, one little thing could throw everything off. And so I have a great deal of appreciation for the amount of work and the organization and the time and the commitment that this took. But everybody's going to win. That's the beauty of this. Everybody wins from this, and that's awesome. Thank you, Bruce. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome. I appreciate you always giving time to these issues, because the more and more people get exposed to them, the more and more of the work gets out. You know, it's these days we're seeing so much stuff on Facebook and all the craziness that's going on. It's nice to seize and lock onto something that we actually can control, do something about, and actually not have any partisan views on. This is something that everybody can embrace. Nobody likes to pay higher insurance premiums. Nobody likes to have their GPSs stolen. So you got a group of folks that are supporting that effort. Those folks are the consumers. And then on this stuff with the Reef, everybody supports things like this. So it's nice to attach yourself to causes to which you're not going to have anybody taking shots at you or adverse comments. The only adversity I find on the GPS stuff is there's industry people,
the manufacturers,
that have tried to put it down because they're worried that their goose is getting, their golden goose is getting encroached upon. So they try and badmouth the cause, and those are the folks who are actually retailing these units and those who are manufacturing them. And I've tried to kind of bring light to the fact that, hey, you know what? Don't count on the boat owner's insurance company to keep this cottage industry alive. Let's stop it. Let's stop it to where we don't need to worry about people stealing our GPSs, because they are no good if they leave the owner's boat. And that's kind of the message I've been trying to put through.
Well, my friend, thank you. It's been an honor to have you on, and again, I appreciate everything that you do. I hope people will check out what Bruce has done. You can go on Facebook, and you can see the different pages that he has between the no theft of the GPSs, put a real dent in the boat theft industry. That's another one. We didn't even talk about that. Put a real dent in that. Got people arrested. Found a ring. And this was all as a direct result of Bruce's efforts. Not Bruce himself, but the efforts that he has put out and reached out to other people. Bruce is kind of like the hub in a wheel, if you will. And he has all of these people that he can reach out to, and getting that knowledge out there to all these people really makes it better for all of us. You know, it's like you said, you want to pay more for insurance? I don't want to pay any more than I have to for insurance, but whether you like it or not, if you're in the boating industry, you're paying more for insurance because there are people out there who are performing these criminal acts. And a lot of people feel helpless. But again, we have people like Bruce who say, I'm not helpless, I'm a victor. And with his efforts, we've made a difference. I shouldn't say we. He has made a difference. I want to take credit away from him. He has made a difference, and it has been a big difference in some cases, big difference. We've recovered boats. Again, I say we. He has recovered boats, helped recover boats. People, I can't say enough positive things about Bruce. Thank you, buddy. I'm out of time for you. Let me let Carolyn say goodbye to you. I wish you an awesome day regardless of the weather today. Again, my great thanks to you.
Yeah, absolutely, Bruce. I was going to say thanks for the heads up and Lighthouse Point, because I have folks even calling us and getting alarms just so they can be on watch. But it's all because of a lot of your efforts. So thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too, the both of you. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you, my friend. God bless.
All right. Take care.
All right, Carolyn, I think we have Mike Simko. Mike is with kitefishing.com, and he is one of our locals. He comes on occasionally, and let's welcome him up, bring him on right now. Hey, Mike, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Rascala. Carolyn, how are you?
Good, Mike. Yeah, I know you're not out fishing.
No, this little weather maker came through South Florida pretty unexpectedly this week. So
You're fading in and out, Mike.
It's a good day to talk. Yeah. What's that?
You're fading in and out. Oh, he faded
How's
completely.
that?
There you go.
How's that? Feeling better? Sound better?
Yeah, a lot better.
Okay, good. Yeah, the weather turned on us.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm out of town, and I headed a little bit north, and I couldn't believe it. People were telling me that trees were falling down in Lighthouse Point, and dock boxes were going in the water. I was like, "What's going on?" And that storm formed just out of Miami somewhere. But unfortunately, and fortunately, folks are being safe out on the water.
I heard a weather report that said on Long Key there was 11 inches of rain dumped in a few short hours.
See, this is what I was saying earlier. People say, "Oh, well, it's only 20 or 30 mile an hour winds. It's no big deal." Well, it is a big deal when you're saturating the ground with 11 inches of water. The ground is no longer sturdy like it normally. It's like a sponge, and the trees will come right down. They'll come right down. And if things aren't like poles and stuff like that aren't embedded in the ground properly, they'll come down too. It's not, people, I've had a couple of people say, "Oh, it's no big deal. It's just a couple of thunderstorms, blah, blah, blah." No, my friend, listen, when the amount of water comes down that's being reported like that, the ground becomes completely saturated. It's almost like if you've ever, I had this experience and it really was hair raising. I was out in Biscayne Bay, and I inadvertently ran up on a sandbar. So I got out of the boat to push the boat. I sunk down 3 feet. I sunk down so far that when I pulled my leg back out, it sucked my shoe off of my foot, and I wasn't about to go back and get it. But that's what it would be like. It would be like a sponge, and by the time the water begins to secede, the ground is completely saturated, and it's just like mud. It's like muck. It has no strength at that point. So it doesn't take anything to blow the trees and stuff over.
Yeah, absolutely. So Mike, what do you do on a day like today? Do you go through gear? What's on the schedule for a cloudy, rainy day?
Well, it's real simple. We're some of the migratory species that are really happening right now for us are things like mutton snapper, mahi are moving through the area, and there's a great swordfish bite. So all of those species are something that I could sit home and just rig for, especially swordfish, because some of these squid baits take 15, 20 minutes to rig. So, to rig 8 baits, I can sit quietly right on my rigging station and get these squids done perfectly, vacuum pack them, and wait for the next trip. Muttons, fortunately, I caught a bunch of ballyhoo, before the storm hit. So, I vacuum packed those, set those up for, on my mutton trips, I basically just pull a bag of these perfect little fresh ballyhoo and plug those for that bait. So yeah, it's all about prep. Checking the tackle, checking your leaders, wind-ons, all that. So yeah, you can utilize times like these to really get ready for your next adventures.
Yeah, and we had I think his name was Tom Buzz from the West Palm Beach Fishing Club on not too long ago. Any pop-up tournaments coming up with those guys?
Well, it's funny because I was busy in a golf tournament when they had their last one, which was 2 weeks ago. It was a pop-up king tournament. They called it the Kingfish Clash, I think. Those pop-up tournaments, I don't think he has got one on the books that he's announced yet. But 2 weeks ago, that Kingfish tournament, they got 60 boats. They announced the tournament on a Monday or Wednesday before the Saturday of fishing, and 60 boats on average join these things. They've done it with wahoo pop-up tournaments. They did it with blackfin tournaments. It's just an incredible club, I have to say. And Buzz does a great job.
Wow. So I was going to ask you about how long do you store your bait?
Well, not to get too crazy technical, but it all depends on the mill of the vacuum bags that we use. So I use, if you go to the bait freezer at most tackle shops, you'll see like a 2 mil thick, bag that's vacuum packed. It's a thick plastic, right? So if you can get a thick plastic like that and have kept that bait in a really great condition before you vacuum seal it, I've kept them. Hell, I pulled sword baits out a year later and
no
used
way.
them, and they were great.
Wow.
Same thing with ballyhoo. 6 months, 8 months later, they still have really, really clear eyes, and you don't really see any blood coming out of the gills, or if you freeze it right. And I have a process by which I kind of get the bait ready before I vacuum pack it, so it's almost frozen from the brine that it's been sitting in.
That was the next thing I was going to ask. Yeah. So you treat it somehow before you freeze it.
Generally on my boat, what I do is we'll dump a pile of salt in a 5-gallon, a 5-gallon bucket, let's just say, of ocean water.
Mm-hmm.
So it's super extra salty anyways. And then I'll put ice on it, keep ice on that little slurry. And then that sits in my big ingle. And so anytime we take a bait out of the water, we'll put it back in that bath. If we catch a bait, let's say we catch a bonita or a bullet, we throw it in there. If we pull a goggle eye off the kite, we throw it into that bath. And it's basically preserved, like instantly.
Wow.
If I net a bunch of ballyhoo or mullet, I'll dump them into that brine, and it'll sit there and just basically freeze them right there.
Wow. I've never thought of that. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I'm using it in that manner. I've heard, naturally people keep they'll keep live wells on either in the boat itself or on the side of the boat. But I never heard of using salt like that. So I know this, when you mix the salt and the ice together, it gets super cold, because I remember from my kid days when we made ice cream. That's one of the ways that we made ice cream. We took the ice cubes out of the freezer, and then we started adding salt to them, and it got really, really, really cold. I was amazed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's almost like you're saying, it's freezing them. Wow.
Yeah, so that is, we're using those little third grade experiments for our serious fishing rigs.
Wow.
Have you done any good tournaments in the last month that it came up?
I haven't. But I have a great story for you if you guys have 3 minutes. I mean, this is one that my friend that I fished with, he posted on Instagram. His name is Rush Rashidi, but we went because, I really love fishing like the week after the full moon. So full moon was September 2nd, and then we had Labor Day coming up. So that Friday we pulled out of here, and early in the morning decided to do a sword trip. We buzzed off to the sword grounds, made a long drift of, maybe 6 miles, and then pulled lines and then reset, So when you make a long drift and you find out they're not biting in that depth, we decided to try a little different. So we went deeper and had one of those squid I was telling you about that, take so long to rig, but, are really, really pretty when they're swimming. And we dropped it down as a tip rod. That's the one that's right next to the boat. And then we were about to put a buoy rod out. As soon as we hit bottom on that tip rod, the rod loads up and just doubled up. That was at 4 p.m. on Friday. Now, you guys are going to laugh about this, but we battled this thing until 11 in the morning.
Holy smokes.
Saturday. Yeah, we basically drifted from West Palm to north of Vero Beach, some 85 miles, fighting this fish. And, the end of the story was that we lost it. It pulled the hook. But when I tell you we battled this thing on 25 pounds of drag, we fought the thing for hours before we all just broke. The 4 guys in the boat just broke, and we started fishing it out of the rod holder. But when we saw this fish on the sonar, it looked like a tank. It was amazing.
Wow. Wow. That is, gosh. From 4 in the afternoon till when?
Till 11 Saturday morning. 11 the next morning.
Oh my gosh.
How close do you think you got it to the boat?
Well, we know we had him exactly 200 feet from the boat, and he was 5 times during this fight. He was out of range of us grabbing the sinker off the, so you have a big weight. We had a 12-pound weight on there that we were going to try to get off of there. And then once you get that 12-pound weight off, you're really just straight to the fish. And we never got to the weight, but we have the line marks really kind of specifically where we're at. So we knew we were 200 feet from this thing.
Wow.
Wow.
That's got to be
It was awesome.
Huge monster.
It really was. It fought like a sword. It really fought like a sword that was hooked in the mouth the whole time. It just, at 19 hours, and what it would do, this fish, just I have a respect for these things now, especially when they get super, super large, I'd say easily over 700 pounds, the way it was fighting us. But he would come up. We always got the feeling like he was kind of surveying the situation where you come up within somewhere near the surface and figure out, okay, I'm not comfortable here. So then he'd go right back straight down to 500 feet where we were marking a thermocline. And then at will, another 10 times, he just would zoom straight to the bottom and pull all our line until he got exactly to the bottom. And then he'd stay there for, a period of time, 45 minutes an hour, and then come right back up to the thermocline where he was comfortable. And then at the 19-hour mark, right before we lost him, he screamed at probably 60 miles an hour, 2,000 feet of line.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like we weren't even, we got the feeling like, well, have we been doing anything for 19 hours? Because this fish just,
wow.
And it was a full 25 pounds of drag. So it was an amazing thing.
Wow. And you all fought it about how long each?
Oh, everybody, we ended up with a nice rotation. I mean, in the beginning, the other three guys were kind of battling the fish, and I was running the wheel. And then after that was 7 hours. And then I jumped on the rod for about 2. That's the first 9 hours of the fight. And at that point, we were deep into the night. And so everybody started rotating a little 1 hour sleep. 3 guys were on, 1 guy would sleep a little bit, and then 2 guys would sleep. But we kept the rotation and kept on them. And the good news for us was that we didn't do anything wrong to lose this fish, we feel. It just beat us. And, we can kind of live with that.
My gosh, I can't even begin to think how big this for 19 hours. And there was 3 of you fighting this thing. It deserved to win. My gosh,
it really did. But
wow.
On a brighter note, that week after the full moon in September, which I loved that whole time, we caught wahoo up to 50 pounds out there on the same sword grounds. So we always drift like three or 4 baits while sword fishing, so we can keep them on one side of the boat while the sword lines are out there on, let's just say, the port side. So on the starboard side of the boat, we've got some swimming squids, and off the Kite, when the kite's blowing the opposite side of our sword lines, again we fly a kite, put a goggle eye out there. We caught 2 big wahoo out there that week, a whole slew of mahi. So the bycatch is great too.
Wow. When you say that you ended up where'd you end up? Some Vero?
Yeah, north of Vero Beach.
So that was more than likely, though. That was the. Gosh, I'm having a hard time thinking this morning. The current. I can't think of the name of the current. The
Gulf Stream.
The Gulf Stream
current.
Yeah. That was a Gulf Stream causing. Now, wasn't this fish pulling you, was it?
Oh yeah, no, the fish. It's funny.
He was just going with the flow.
With us. It was the current pulling us, but the fish stays right with us, because something about these swords, I think, is that they have this weight pulling down on them until you get the weight off, and they don't really have a will to run east, west, north, and south. They basically just fight this. They'll just use this weight as the weight is levering them up and down. So they fish pretty much straight up and down to the boat, within reason, and then they drift with the current with us.
That is an amazing story, Mike.
Yeah, I wish it had a different end, but that's okay. We can live with that.
Well, I mean, if a fish deserves to get away, that would have to be a justification there, my gosh, I can't imagine fighting 3 of you fighting till you're pooped. There's nothing left of you, and this thing is still going. That is amazing.
Yeah. I tell you, we've rethought, because of these, and this has happened only one other time. I mean, but nothing to this level. I mean, but these fights can get really drug on. So, really you have to think about how to prepare for a trip like that differently. You need 2 or 3 times more water. You need more food. You need, just everything. More sunscreen. It's making us rethink how we pack for these trips.
Wow, that was a great story. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't even know. How do you follow up with that? My gosh, that was amazing. My goodness.
Yeah.
19
Yeah, it
hours
was fun.
of fighting. And wow. All right, my friend. Well, we're just about out of time. Before we go, I want to give you an opportunity. You know, I have you come on because I had no idea how kites play a vital part of fishing. And I always thought, ignorant me, I always thought kites were silly until I met you and you explained some of the things that they do. And so if people want to learn more about kites, because this is really your specialty, right? Being able to do kite fishing. We didn't get to talk much about that.
Absolutely, and I really encourage anybody, regardless of you know, where they are in their setup for kite fishing. I really spend most of my time talking to a lot of people that are just getting into it. I like to think that, you know, we take the mystery out of it and make it a little bit less, you know, less difficult. At least it's perceived as being difficult. So I like to show people it's not. And my website is kitefishing.com. You can get all my contact information there. On my Facebook page, it's Kite Fishing Experts, Mike Simko, and I'm here basically for any questions people have, also to help in their setup. A little plug for one of my great friends who's a kite manufacturer. His name is Pearl Bean, and he manufactures pearl kites. There's some big things coming out of his company this fall, so look for that. And that's pretty much the way to get me.
All right, my friend. Well, it's going to be one of those days. There's probably a maintenance day today. Get the kites out, wash them. Didn't you tell me you wash them down, right? You should wash them down.
Yeah,
that's
already done. Absolutely. Yeah. You got to keep that gear clean, you know, because, you know, like anything, if you don't, salt build up and other things, you know, these kites got to be spotless before they fly right.
Yeah. So I learned a lot from you. I always thought kite fishing, you know, I thought kites and kids, you know, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
No, and then you find out it can exponentially change your odds of winning. Now you're talking a completely different story. Wow. All right, Carolyn, let me give you an opportunity to say goodbye. Mike, thank you. Greatly appreciate it, sir.
Absolutely, Mike. Thanks for calling in, and hopefully we'll fish soon.
Thanks, Carolyn. Looking forward to it.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Scala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Club, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Club has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclub.com. That's www.susanclub.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Club. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning. If you're just joining us, we will have archives set up on the Facebook page. Go to Facebook, find Fishing in Florida, and you'll see the links are there. Another way you can listen to us is if you go to our home network, www.wcetfm.com. We have a player there. You can download our app. It's absolutely free. No spyware, no adware, no push notifications. It's really just kind of, in a way, a basic radio, but only one channel, and that would be our network. So whatever time you tune in, you'll be listening to whatever show that happens to be on. You can find it at the Google Play Store. You can look for WCET-FM or Fishing in Florida, and you can find it there. If you have a TuneIn app, one of the other ways you can listen to us is you go to TuneIn and tune in Marina Rock Radio. They're out of Miami. If you tune in Marina Rock Radio on Sunday mornings, you can find us through that TuneIn app. So several different ways you can listen to us. Of course, the easiest is the app itself. Free to download, free to use, no adware, no spyware. No push notifications. We did that on purpose. I didn't, a lot of the stuff that they tell you, well, it's free to download, and it is free to download, but before you know it, you've given up something. You're being hit with advertisements or some kind of a notification of some sort, and we don't do that. I didn't go for that. It's just a way to listen to the network and whatever happens to be playing at that time. All right, let me welcome back Miss Carolyn. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax, and we kind of mentioned that a little bit with Bruce Marx when we got to talking about the equipment being stolen and boats being stolen, and unfortunately, in times like this when people are hurting for money, they do things that maybe normally wouldn't do. And there's ways that you can help protect yourself, and one of those ways is with Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Yeah, absolutely, Riscala. And I had some people from Lighthouse Point and Pompano Beach area telling me about the boat thefts and the electronics and seeing the people steal things right on the Ring camera. And once that's stolen and they're coming by kayak, there's no way you're going to get that back, even with a Ring camera or a video system in your house. So Bruce is absolutely right. Luckily, we installed a few alarm systems last week, and they covered people's hatches and underneath their helms and even a cable wrap that we have that can be wrapped around a canvas cover. So at least there's audible ways with sirens that you can at least scare the bad guys away. Yeah. And that's really important for boat theft, GPSs, or even things in your driveway.
If you can make noise, because that's what they like. They have the element of surprise, and the element of surprise for them is silence. So if you can make noise of some time, that while they're doing their business, they'll scatter usually. They won't hang around. And so one way to do that is to put an alarm system on there. And, he was talking about, I didn't realize that some of these pieces of equipment that they have, of course, I've been out of the boating industry for quite some time, but they run into thousands and thousands of dollars. Some of this stuff's like $5,000-$6,000 for just one piece of equipment, depending upon what it is. And they don't.
Sure, and people want high definition electronics now, and they want the ability to watch movies and Bluetooth and wireless. So the equipment is probably even some of these, and they want two of the exact same thing. So some of these are 18-inch screens that are probably a lot more than that, and you could watch videos of people with a crowbar and wire cutters taking those things out and stealing them in a minute or less.
Yeah. So one of the ways that you can help avoid that, of course, is to put up an alarm system, and that's just one of the many things that Carolyn has to offer. We talk a lot about the wireless stuff that she has, where you can be anywhere on the face of the planet, and they can locate you, or you can locate wherever your track area is within 10 feet. That's amazing. But there's other things that you can do to try to avoid the actual theft itself, and that's make some noise. Have an alarm system that makes noise. And that usually chases them. It's like you walk into a room and you turn the lights on and the roaches scatter because they see the lights and they can't stand it. It's kind of sort of like that. They just take off. And that's one of the many things that she has. A lot of cool products you have. I really like some of the stuff that you have.
Yeah, and we've been adding more and more for safety products too. Customers are asking us for throw rafts and personal EPIR beacons if, God forbid, the boat sinks. So we've been adding more and more products. We even sent, I know you really like the hotspot, we sent a couple hotspots over in private aircraft to lobster fishermen over in the Bahamas because they're out in the long times and in those seas. And a lot of times the captains, need to report in how their catch is, what kind of trucks they need to offload. So, yeah, it seems like hotspots are really becoming very popular so that multiple people can use the one hotspot to use their own phone.
That's cool.
And that really lets everyone stay in touch with business or family, instead of having one satellite phone to share. So it really works well. And some people are, with the free satellite phone promotions we have, people are taking phones and hotspots. So I'm just glad that all these satellite companies recognize the need for safety equipment or making it affordable for everybody. That's important to me.
That when you mentioned now this hotspot, because it's good for how many can use it? 6, 7?
Up to 6 or 7 phones and iPads and other devices like that. So sure, as long as somebody puts the app in their phone first before you get out of cellular range, you can just connect right to this little hotspot device, which is 5 inches by 4 inches, and you're good to go using your existing phone contacts. You're texting right from your phone. So it just makes so much sense. And, the more products that they get out there, and there's multiple satellite companies. There's Globalstar, there's a company called Iridium, there's a company called Inmarsat, and they all have great products. They're all different use, but they all have satellite phones and hotspots. And what's so exciting is that we at Atlas Trax get to offer those to clients now. Even if someone has a big mega yacht and they want a TV system, we can even help them out with that. So it's fun now that we can really equip a full boat.
Awesome. I want to go back to the hotspot. The hotspot itself, you can do. You said texting. Can you do data too off the hotspot?
Yeah, you can browse the internet. You know, I mean, the speed is pretty good. I mean, I don't know if watching a movie offshore makes sense, but as far as checking emails, you can browse the internet. You can do texting. There's SOS buttons on there. So if you have a problem, they know exactly where to come get you. Let's see what else. Sometimes they limited tracking, just a small amount of tracking. And, you know, even now that you could put an actual antenna on the boat, which means that this device doesn't even have to be out in clear view to the sky. So you can mount very affordably an antenna, and that way you can use this little hotspot even inside a cabin of a little cruiser.
That's awesome. So, and if I remember right, this is very affordable. Like it was like $50 or something. Am I wrong? Somewhere around $50.
Yeah. So the service is only $50 a month, and the device is normally $500. But things have been so great for safety and during hurricanes, they're only $250 now. Wow. So you can buy this device and then have service. And my cell phone is over $100, and I'm not getting any of that kind of value. So it's a really good unlimited plan to use all the different aspects of that hotspot.
Yeah, so you answered the next question I was going to ask. There's no time. It's not like you know, you get X amount of minutes and then after that it's, you know, you get charged. It's unlimited time on this thing.
Right, which is calling, texting, browsing. Anytime that the hotspot is on, it's basically taking your cellular phone and making a satellite network for you, a personal satellite network. And that could be used anywhere, offshore, out hiking, hunting. We're coming into hunting season soon. You know, and especially now, look at when it happens with the cell phones during these emergency hurricane situations. Cellular towers get taken down purposely to be used for first responders and police and rescue. So right now, if you're in a hurricane, you could put this hotspot on and basically have cellular service.
Wow. I didn't think about that. That's a great point. And it's the ability to communicate keeps you, you know, keeps the safety part of it right there. I thought it was awesome that you could be. Now, this is like the tracker, right? Because I want to make sure what I'm going to say is right. You can be anywhere. It doesn't matter because it's satellite. You can be anywhere, right?
That's correct. You can be anywhere in the world and use this device. It connects to the satellites within about 50 seconds. So, you turn it on when you need it. And that's the great thing about it is it's small, it's portable. It's only about 6 inches by 5 inches. It's a great need for safety and an emergency situation. And, you know, we have those situations. I watch the Weather Channel all the time, and there's either a flash flood somewhere or somebody's out hiking in falls or, boating, engine issues. It could be anything. Storm kicking in and somebody gets worried about a family member, and it's a great way to stay in touch.
I think it's awesome. And so just for example, if I have one of these things and I'm out of the country, and I use my cell phone, it's acting like it's in the home network, so to speak.
Yeah, so you're using satellites to make your phone calls back, but because it's an unlimited service, you can dial and know you have a $50 capped a month bill, which is great because sometimes people that don't have Bahamian even cell phone service in Florida, if you make a call or two, you just have an extra $30 of international calls. And you don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
Or you have the ability and you cannot even make a Bahama phone call. So this is a really great option for those captains, private folks, send it out with the kids just for, again, emergencies if they need to make a phone call. Is a great thing to have in a backpack.
That's awesome. I love this technology. I like the idea that you can be anywhere and still have the ability to communicate. Because that is when you talk about safety, that is probably the number one priority. Your ability to communicate for help, should you need it, and that should be it should be a number one priority with people. And this is an easy way to have that what am I trying to say? Peace of mind. This is a real easy way to get peace of mind. How much money can you put on that? Not much. And they didn't come out right. How much money can you put on it? There is not enough that you can put on it. But this doesn't cost much. This is very, very reasonable. I think it's cool. All right. Well,
And a lot of people will just partner a couple products. They'll get the tracker for the boat, which is mandatory and for safety. They'll get, a phone just to have in a ditch bag just in case. And that could, again, go anywhere. That could go up in the middle of the state, boar hunting. And then, having the ability to have a hotspot where you can stay connected with your family in your office. It's just a win-win all the way around. And the prices are so good now. And some of the hotspots we have, you can even use them in your aircraft. So many people fly around doing their own business and running back and forth to the Bahamas, being that Florida's so close. They can actually make phone calls in the aircraft.
That's a good point. All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, hopefully we'll have Pam with us. Pam Wirth is one of the top female kayak anglers here in Florida. She's going to share with us what's going on her side. I think she's on the West Coast today. I think that's where she's at. And hopefully we'll have her when we come back. Don't go away. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with Carolyn and Riscala, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
Fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is Fishing in Florida, and this morning, I don't know how much fishing we're going to get done this morning. It is very cloudy out there. We have some kind of activity going on. I think it's a tropical storm, and the majority of it right now appears to be in the southwestern portion of our state. but it is covering quite a bit of the southern portion of the state. This morning I have Carolyn with me. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, like we've been talking about the last couple of minutes, you got to talk to Carolyn over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Yeah, thanks, Scala, for having me. And you know what? It's amazing with all the bad weather we're having down in South Florida. The seas are only reporting 2 to 3 feet, which is kind of crazy. I guess it's all circulating around the west coast of Florida right now.
Well, what I'm seeing over here, I'll have to go back and look, but I thought it was I thought it was 4 to 6, but I may have been looking in the wrong area. Let me welcome Pam. Pam is one of the top lady kayakers here in Florida. She's one of the top lady anglers, kayak anglers. You know, I think I'm going to go back to sleep this morning. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's because it's so gloomy out there. Good morning, Miss Pam.
Good morning, sir. Yeah, the rain will do that to you. Just kind of keep you in a down mood, especially if it's more than one day.
Jeez, it's so gloomy outside. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, Pam, I'm sure I was watching some of your fish last week, and I'm sure you were getting those beautiful blue skies, and now it's a whole different deal.
Well, to make it even worse, this is the end of my vacation time, you know, and it's also it's championship tournament time. So I left Tampa Friday morning at 3 a.m. I stopped in the Taylor County area, Steinhatchee, just around Big Bend, and did some fishing, had a great time, then drove over to Gulf Breezes. My brother lives there. We were going to go out fishing today with my brother and his son, my nephew, but the wind has just picked up. Gulf Breezes is just southwest of Pensacola. So I am in the middle or the end of the target zone for Sally coming in.
Oh.
The IFA championships are Friday and Saturday. So I have to make a decision. Do I go to Texas, drive to Texas and hang out in Texas for a little while and let the storm go by and hope that the championships go on? But again, it's headed straight to Grand Isles. Wow. They're supposed to get a lot of stone surge. What is Grand Isles going to look like? And it's going to hang out through Wednesday. And the tournament is Friday and Saturday. So it's like, what do I do? Or do I go with the rest of my vacation time, go over to the east coast of Florida and maybe hang out with Captain Xavier and go catch some big bull reds and some big snook?
Yeah, I think I like option 2.
You all have the mullet. Yeah, you all have the mullet run going on now on the East Coast, and the snook and the tarpon are going nuts.
Yeah, I think I like option number 2, Pam. Where is that with regard to the last 2 that hit? My gosh, they're almost in the same place.
Exactly. The last 2 that hit were a little bit more west, more between Louisiana and Texas. This one is basically going to hit like just south of, if you take Nolens and go straight south, maybe a little southwest, between there and the Florida-Alabama border.
Oh.
Which I'm basically on. That's Pensacola. Gulf Breeze is real close to it.
The last time I saw the report on it was last night. It has changed because it was supposedly going up almost in the same spot where the last 2 were.
Yeah, but it's just going to come a little bit more east.
I see.
The last 2 were much more towards Texas.
Yeah.
And as you know, the worst part of a hurricane is always the east side of the hurricane.
Northeast, yeah.
So if it comes up through Grand Isles, then the worst part is going to hit that, Pensacola and, and that whole area, that whole Gulf area.
Wow.
They're looking at 9 to 12 feet surges, especially up toward Louisiana, where we're supposed to fish in 2 days.
Wow.
And what's the fishing going to be like after that storm dumps all that fresh water in through there? I don't know. And
the pressure, something that I learned from you was about the pressure, the barometric pressure. What is that going to do?
I don't know. The barometric pressure drops during the storm. That's why fish always feed right before a storm. But afterwards, I don't know. I don't know. It's a big I don't know. Do I turn around and save my vacation and go to the East Coast and go try to fish for big reds and snook? Or do I go to Texas and hang out and pray that the IFA goes on? And if it does, is the water going to be decent or is it going to be really frustrating? It's,
Yeah, how long is the drive out that way?
Yeah, my whole year has been like this. Jacksonville got canceled because of a hurricane earlier this year.
What are they following you?
I know. You know, it's kind of a joke. I think the guys know that if Dave comes with me, okay? If Dave comes with me and it's an offshore tournament, it's going to storm. I mean, it's going to be horrible weather. It's every single time. And I flipped when he's been there, you know. But me, if you're fishing with me in a tournament, you're going to like that because basically I will get the small fish out of the way and everybody who fishes with me lands bigger fish. But if I fish by myself, I tend to do okay.
That's really funny. Oh my goodness.
No, it's the truth. Oh my gosh, ask kayaker friends. It is the truth. It's like they even posted on Facebook on the last offshore tournament, hey, hang with Pam. Everybody around her catches fish.
Did you get a chance to fish Joe Hector's Extreme Kayak tournament?
Yes, I did. I was the only lady to pull in a fish, and unfortunately, it was the wrong kind. It took the if you read anybody's post from it, you'll know that the current was horrible. It was 4 knots. And in a kayak, your average speed is about 2.5, maybe 3. And if you're hoofing it, you can get to 4 and 5. But how long can you sustain that 4 and 5? You know, I was dead by the time I got back to, because I ended up on the other side of the Hillsborough Inlet. So now I have to come back across with 2 other people. We kind of ducked together with 2 other people and came across the Hillsborough Inlet. And unfortunately, it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock, which means the morning boats were coming back in and the afternoon boats were headed out. So it was horrid. You had waves coming every which way, and we felt like 3 little ducks just kind of bouncing around. Finally, I took my hat off and I started waving people down, and a couple people figured out what was going on and slowed down, which slowed everybody behind them. So we got across the inlet.
Oh, gee.
Well, yeah, you've got all that sport fish charter fleet right there at the Hillsborough Inlet and the current that rips through there. So I do not envy you at all. If you were going to go to Texas, how long is the drive?
I'm not sure. I mean, I've only been talking to my brother about it when we looked this morning and looked at the latest projections. And I just told him, I go, I have to get out of here. I'm not going to stay here with the kayak. I got to get out of here. So, I didn't even look. I have to figure out the drive. Is there some place I can fish along the way? I'll have to reach out to maybe some buddies that fish. I mean, they just had their tournament this weekend for the IFA, their last IFA tournament in Texas which the championship, like I said, is supposed to be this weekend for the kayaks. So it's a big unknown. I'm just voicing it out there. Anybody wants to message me and tell me what to do, nicely.
I say go back to Florida.
Yeah.
I do the East Coast of Florida.
Yeah.
And do some red fishing.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, blow off the tournament. Maybe I come down there. I mean, I have enough time.
I think the drive from here to Texas has got to be at least 2 days, maybe 3.
Yeah, but see, I'm already in Pensacola.
Oh, okay, 2 days.
Yeah, so it could just be, I could start this morning and be somewhere to fish by this evening.
Yeah, just in time for that thing to come across.
It's less of a drive than me going to It's less of a drive than me going to Titusville.
Wow. Yeah, but see, my concern would be by the time you get there, it's just about the time this thing's going to come across, I think, right?
Not if I go down far enough. And also, you have to remember, most of the storm is going to be east of the eye, not west.
Yeah.
So I have to drive further east to get away from the rains than I do if I go west. But then to drive back.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Wow.
And nobody can really, I mean, the storm is still going to be here on Wednesday. I know she's got a qualifier for Louisiana on Thursday, and then the finals are Friday and Saturday. So the first anybody can actually really get back here is going to be Thursday. And nobody knows what they're walking into. Hopefully, the area, the place that I rented is still going to be there, and it's going to be in good condition. Who knows? I don't know if they're even going to be open.
Wow.
Well, I just checked for you, Pam. Pensacola, Florida to Houston, Texas is about 7.5 hours. So you're probably Galveston along the coast somewhere?
I don't know. I'm thinking of it, yeah.
That's
So-
a one day drive.
Like, look at Pensacola to Titusville. How far is that?
Oh, let me check right now for you.
Tampa to Pensacola is a good, 7 hours.
I didn't
Look
think
it right
it was
now
that,
for
quite
you.
that far.
As your air traffic
Yeah.
controller.
There you go. You rock. You're a lady of multitasking.
It is almost the same. It's 6 hours and 42 minutes to Titusville, 7 hours and 27 minutes to Texas, to Houston, Texas.
Yeah, so it's a stone throw either way.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know what to do.
Take a
now
coin.
you know why I don't sing. I know. It's probably not the report you wanted to hear, but I figured this is what's on my mind, and you know me, I always tell you what's on my mind.
So is there good prize money in the Texas tournament?
Texas is done. There's good prize money in the IFA finals. Yes.
That might change.
And
You could flip a coin. You're halfway between both places exactly. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go with a flip a coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
And
going to
it's
say.
like-
Just take a coin,
Yeah,
flip.
And I know with the hurricane coming and people not getting there early, I don't know how many people are going to do the championship, even if the championship is on. Which would give me better odds if all the good guys stay away. Did you hear that, Derek Engel? But the Louisiana guys who usually win it every year anyway because it's their backyard, they're going to be there. I mean, it's nothing for them to drive that.
That's a hard
I
call.
don't know. I'm still thinking go east, but the flipping a coin
It's
is
a hard
going to be
call.
your option, I think. Rascal?
Well, I have a captain that I fish with in Titusville, and I'm just kind of waiting on his availability. If he has Tuesday or Wednesday, Captain Xavier, oh my goodness, I can't say his last name. It starts with a G, and it's 150 syllables. He's going to hate me if he hears this. But I'm just kind of waiting on his availability, and if he's open Tuesday or Wednesday, then maybe I will go to Titusville and go for big bull reds and big snook.
Yeah.
So fun.
That
And then
sounds
maybe
more like it.
Yeah, and then shoot down maybe to what is that, Jonathan Dickinson area, and do some maybe 1 or 2 nights of night fishing for big snook. That's a possibility too. And then shoot back over to Tampa.
That sounds like a pretty good vacay right there. That's a nice closing vacay. The sun will be out next week.
Mm-hmm.
And but definitely we'll keep an eye on you on your Facebook page and see where you end up.
Yeah.
Lots of nice
'cause I'll
fish
probably-
this last
I'll
week,
probably
Miss Pamela.
I was going to say I'll probably post this question on my Facebook page and my Instagram page, and I'll look at the votes and see what people say. Because
That's
I have
pretty-
this beautiful plan. Yeah, I have this beautiful plan. I'm fishing all the way up the coast. I went yesterday to fish where I wanted to fish here in Pensacola, and the landing or the boat ramp was closed. I'm like, is this God telling me something? So I spent a few hours, and then I broke my rod tip. I spent a few hours. I've now located 2 other ramps that would be really good. Ended up getting the rod tip fixed, which was great. Broxton and Navarra did that. Those guys are great out there. If you're in the area, that's a great tackle shop to go visit. I always visit local. And so I'm just hanging out with my brother, trying to figure out what to do. I think he's going to go. He's a really good sailboarder or kiteboarder, whichever you call that. So he's
now would
out
be the
there
time.
launching himself, where he gets like 20 feet off the water and
Yeah.
comes back down on the board. Holy cripe. Ex-Marine, what can I say?
Oh, my
Retired
goodness.
Marine.
Wow. Yeah, I have seen,
Yeah.
I can remember going down the beach and seeing some of those guys. They do some amazing stuff, and you're right. They literally fly with those kites. Literally flying. It is. I guess it's exciting. My mind says, yeah, you can do that. My body says, you just try that, pal. See what you just try it and see what happens.
Little feet. You know you're getting old when your body can't do what your mind sets out.
And that's what mine is. That's what mine tells me all the time. Because it's not fair. Our bodies get our age, but the mind, for me and my, I guess my family, my whole family, My dad was sharp as a tack all the way up until he passed away. That part of him never deteriorated, but his body sure did. So there's a lot of times my mind will go, yeah, you can do that. Come on, let's go do that. And then my body will remind me, yeah, try. You just try that and see what happens, because you won't be standing afterwards.
Yeah. Well, the last extreme, I didn't feel bad because I ended up talking to some people afterwards. But I want to tell you, by the time I got back to the beach on that last extreme, I was beat. At least I had a fish. I felt good about that. I thought it was a kingfish. It hit like a kingfish. It just took off. I'm like, oh, thank you, God. And then I felt the thumping on the line. I'm like, oh, sugar, it's not a kingfish. Please be tuna. Please be tuna. And then I got it next to the boat, and it was bonita. Oh, crap. It's still a nice bonita. But, man, I was spinning. I walked up to the table through the sand and walked up to the table, and I just need to sit here.
Wow.
And then I talk to friends that are like in their 30s, and they're like, oh man, I can't even walk today. And I'm like, oh, I'm fine. You know, the day after I was fine. I'm like, oh, okay, I don't feel so bad now.
Wow.
I'll tell you, it's amazing. We never get you that when you call in, you're always on the water, and this is great that you actually get to call in. And
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sitting here, and my brother has this beautiful place right on the intercoastal and Gulf Breezes. So it's beautiful. I'm watching the water and the wind, but yeah.
Well,
it's always fun to talk with you guys anyway.
Awesome. It's always good, Pam, to have you on, and we can't wait to see, or I can't wait to see if you head east or west. I'll have to keep my eye on that.
Yeah, well, holler at me. You know what? I have some friends in Jupiter, too, that have a boat. And they used to do a lot of kayak fishing, and they've gone into the boating now, Max. So maybe I'll head down there and say hi to them.
There you go. The ongoing saga.
Yeah. I'll keep y'all posted. Watch the,
Stay tuned.
Watch the Facebook. I'll keep you posted.
Stay tuned for the latest and greatest.
Safe travels and stay dry whichever way you go.
Thank you so much. You guys are a blessing. Take care of yourselves.
You're a blessing, my dear. Thank you. God bless. Have an awesome day regardless of the weather. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
See ya. All right, my friends, that's Miss Pam Wirth. You can find her on Facebook. Find her a variety of ways. And she is always kind with her time. Calls in, gives us a fishing report typically off of the West Coast, because that's usually where she's at. And she's on her way. Who knows where she's going to end up. Let me bring on my next guest. That's Angelia. Angelia, I think, is down in the Keys. Let's find out. Welcome and good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Yep, I'm in the Keys.
Hey, good morning, Angelia.
Good morning, Carolyn. How are you?
Good. I don't know if you heard, I'm actually sitting up in New York. We drove up a 2-day marathon trip, so it's about sunny and 67 degrees, and hope to do some striper fishing this week.
Well, good for you. I'll be wishing you good luck. How's that?
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll definitely stay in touch. And if it's all right with you, I'm going to cut out a little bit. We had a long day yesterday, and Riscala, I will talk to y'all and Angelia next week.
God bless you, my
dear.
dear.
Got it, Carolyn.
Appreciate
it. Happy fishing.
Thank you,
Have
Carolyn.
fun, you guys.
All righty. Yeah, she's up there. She says it's about 67 degrees. How do you like that? How would you like to have some 67 degrees? So are you getting blown away down there? You getting a lot of wind?
That was what I wanted to share so badly. The irony of it all, Riscala, because that the last 2 hurricane scares we had were that Isaias and Laura. And we worked really hard to put up a whole fleet of boats and secure everything, and nothing happened. The hurricane didn't come near us. So Friday, we were actually at work, and the crew was looking at some storms that were coming off the tip of Africa, which is typically where they do start. And, we weren't even looking around our area. There was one little red X near the Keys, and it was just a little low pressure spot is all it was. So we didn't pay any mind to it at all. Well, that little low pressure spot by midnight on Friday night turned into a tropical depression. By about 3 a.m., it turned into a tropical storm. And then yesterday, about 2 o'clock, they called it Hurricane Sally. So we were in the middle of beautiful weather, and all of a sudden it just erupted in the middle or the very, very early morning hours of Saturday morning. And yesterday was just a complete and total washout for us.
So it's a hurricane? I haven't been watching this thing at all. That is spooky. It's a hurricane now?
They were calling it Tropical Depression 19 when it first, became big and powerful very, very fast. We had some, some gusts and stuff, but no real sustained winds. It was more a big rain event for us. But it became a tropical depression very, very quickly. They called it Tropical Depression 19. And as I was just watching it throughout the day yesterday, after working in the rain for 4 or 5 hours, it turned into Hurricane Sally yesterday afternoon. And they're expecting it to gain some massive strength in the Gulf. And the poor Texas or Louisiana or Mississippi coast is probably going to get it again, which is just terrible for them. They expect it to gain some serious strength over the Gulf and the warm waters. But yeah, just unexpected. Here we're totally analyzing the weather and watching the weather systems, and there's this one little low pressure area that turned into a tropical storm and now a hurricane on us. Who would have thought? And all the preparation we did for the storms that never came, and then the one that does pops up on us overnight. Thank goodness it wasn't too bad for us. Like I said, it was a major rain event. I know some parts of Islamorada got up to 12 inches of rain in 6 hours. It was definitely a lot of rain. So, and we're still really overcast and just kind of drizzly today. So we're hoping the sun will come out.
So
it's
right
been
now,
absolutely beautiful down here.
Where are you? Are you in Islamorada or Key Largo?
I'm actually in Key Largo. I work in Key Largo most days. So, yeah, I'm actually in Key Largo right now.
Yeah,
so.
There's still some stuff happening. According to the map here, still some stuff happening in Key Largo. But as you get a little further south, it's a little cleaner.
It's overcast. It's drizzly. Like I said, we're just hoping the sun comes out today. We want to salvage our weekend. How come these things always come through on the weekend?
I'm looking at the tracking of this thing. Oh, this brings back some bad memories. 1992, August 24th. Wow, this follows almost. It did almost the same thing that Andrew did. It was really of nothing. They were saying really, no, it's not a whole lot to be concerned with. We're going to watch it, but it doesn't look like it's going to increase, and because there's going to be some currents that are going to tear it up. Blah 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 blah. And then got offshore. Got just, I don't know, remember how many miles offshore, but it just exploded and turned into what I would call a giant tornado, that thing. It was unbelievable. But that's similar to what this has done. This started right offshore, and then I'm amazed it's already, but they won't give me, I'm looking for the winds. We won't give me the winds yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, it looks like it formed and gained a lot of strength, like just north of Cuba, like between Cuba and the Keys. And like I said, it just kind of popped up out of nowhere. It woke me up about 3 o'clock in the morning, Saturday morning, and when I looked over at the radar, I said, "Oh my gosh, where did this thing come from? We were just studying this just hours ago, So it definitely was a little surprise storm, and I'm going to keep my prayers and my thoughts with the Texas coast and the Louisiana coast, because they've gotten hammered this year. And what we got yesterday was nothing. We can handle that. That's like a typical Florida afternoon storm that just lasts for 24 hours,
Yeah.
We can handle that anytime. But man, we're getting lucky so far. And like I said, my prayers and thoughts are with the Texas coast, the Louisiana coast, the Mississippi coast, because they are just getting hammered this year. I feel terrible for them. We need to talk to Wanda Stewart and find out how she's doing.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yeah, I'll have to send her a text.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh Lord, I completely, there wasn't even shame on me. I wasn't even thinking about her.
I've been thinking about her a lot. I need to get in touch with her and find out how everything's doing, how it's affecting the fishing, how it's affecting the water conditions. I'm sure it's probably a sloppy mess up there. So
And
we'll
now
see.
with the third one coming through, and according to this tracking, it looks like it's going to go right into New Orleans again.
Isn't that just terrible? I mean, they are just not having the luck this year.
Oh my gosh, that's.
I know.
Wow. So
but in the meantime, the last week has been gorgeous. Everyone has nothing but fantastic fishing reports. The snapper, the grouper in season, lobster still in season. The mahi are still getting cherry picked nicely, and it seems like we're getting some of our fall fish in a little early, which is really nice. Big kingfish, a few wahoo I see coming in now, and I had a really cool opportunity. You know, I've been doing a lot of eco tours on the bay side of the islands, which is unusual for me, but it's been very educational and very good for me as a captain because it's been teaching me more about both sides of my islands here. And we were doing some scouting for some new eco tour trips, and I was actually on a paddleboard going down some of the creeks in the backcountry, which are just amazing. The mangrove canopies over these neat little trails are just the coolest ever. But I found a really neat little creek way back in Florida Bay that's pretty wide. It's probably 30 feet wide. You can see the fossilized silt and sand underneath the mangrove roots. That's just absolutely amazing. It's crystal clear, and it is loaded with snook.
Oh, my goodness.
And I mean loaded with snook. Now, it is in a no motor zone, so it's in one of those creeks that you have to use a kayak or a paddleboard. But I have dropped a pin on that baby on my Navionics, and I will be back there in a kayak snook fishing because it is loaded. It was just amazing. Some stingrays, some little nurse sharks. But then when I got into the snook way back into this trail, I mean, just awesome. Fishing in a barrel, awesome.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody where that's at quite yet, but...
And the season's open, right?
Great little spot.
Yep. Snook season's open now, I think, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go try my hand at it. I'm not a big backcountry fisher, but my goodness, when I know when there's a little hot spot like that, I'm definitely going to go
check
try
that
it out.
Yeah. So, do you think you're going to go back on the paddleboard?
You know, I'd like to take a couple kayaks and drag them behind a boat because it's quite a ways back there. I mean, it'd be a heck of a kayak from the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say mainland, I mean like Key Largo. Yeah,
Wow.
That's mainland for us these days. But yeah, if you left from Key Largo, it'd be quite a kayak. So I'd like to drag a couple kayaks to the boat back there, tie the boat up at the entrance to the creek, and go back there and fish it. I think if you dropped a chum bag down there, that it'd probably just be on. You know, I think that they would go crazy.
Wow.
So I'm going to try it out. I'll keep you posted and try it out. Like I said, I'm not the biggest backcountry fisherman, but seeing fish like that with my own eyes gets me really excited.
Yeah, kind of light up like golf balls.
Absolutely.
Right?
And expanding my fishing knowledge and my fishing range in the Keys makes me very happy too. So,
Wow.
but the backcountry's been just really fun lately. I'm sure I've said it before, but we see a lot of dolphins in the backcountry in very shallow water, which I always find interesting. But lately, we've just had pods of dolphins in the backcountry, in the Florida National Everglades side. And I'm talking pods of 15, 20, 25 dolphins just swarming our boat. It's been absolutely magnificent. For some reason, the dolphins have been super thick, and I always try to pay attention to the marine mammals when they go different places. There's got to be a reason. They're way too smart. They know things.
Yeah.
Maybe they knew that storm was coming this weekend. I'm not sure, but the amount of dolphins we have seen on Bayside has just been amazing. The size of the pods has been mind-blowing.
Wow.
And then I had a really cool little thing happen a couple days ago. I was on a very, very small little tiki boat doing just a small hour-long eco tour. And when I always keep my eyes out for dolphins because the tourists love that. And I saw one in the water, and I took the boat towards the dolphin. Well, the dolphin puts on a 10-minute show around the boat, and I mean a complete and total show. It was like he knew he was performing for these people. It was just beautiful. and I lost him for a minute, and I'm thinking, where the heck did he go? He just disappeared on me. Well, he was under the boat. And when he came back from underneath the boat at the bow, he put on this beautiful show and then flicked his tail and splashed everyone on the boat. It was just perfect. It was like he knew exactly what he was doing. And then he swam off like, haha, I showed you.
Wow.
But, we've been having the most amazing marine mammal activity down here. It's just really been fun to watch. And every day is kind of a new adventure. You never know what's going to happen. So, but the dolphins in the backcountry, I don't understand why they're back here in such numbers right now, but I'm going to do a little research and try to figure it out. But I couldn't be more pleased about the activity. It's just beautiful.
Wow. Sounds like a dream, I'm telling you. I envy you. You are, But you well deserve it, too. It's not like it was handed to you on a silver spoon, for Pete's sake. I know you put in a lot of hard work, and you've paid the dues to be able to do that stuff. So God bless you.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, too, you choose your life. I really love my life, and you do choose your life. Sometimes it's hard to find the path to get to where you want to go, but you do choose your own life. So everybody should be happy and doing what they want to do, in my opinion. And I really love my life. Like I said, every day is truly an adventure. You never know what's going to happen.
Amen. Well, I'm happy for you, my dear. You are an inspiration. Every time I think of you, I think of that beautiful smile. Anytime I see a picture of you, I see that big, beautiful smile. All right, we are out of time. Thank you, everyone, for taking time to tune in today. We'll be back in a week. Angelia, God bless you. Wish you an awesome day, my friend.
Thank you. You too, everybody.
So long.